up? It's your boy Larry Love. I'm glad you are tuned in for yet another super spectacular edition of What the Fumble Podcast, the sports podcast. Here with the best co-host in the land. Trey, go ahead and shout yourself out, man.
We're back with another episode. It's your boy TK3. I'm back here with my light-skinned co-host, Larry, man. You're looking a little darker today.
You mean it?
You get a little tan, man?
Hey, man, I was out in the sun slaving, man. Today, yesterday, day before that, and the day before that.
You'll never hit brown. But it's all right, man. God. We're going to hit.
Never hit brown. Hey, man, we're going to speak this man to the third horse, man. Justo, man. Go ahead and shout yourself out, man.
Yo, what's going on, man? Thanks, Justo. That's the IG. That's where every handle is nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, Justo, everywhere.
All the clips, all the TikToks you see, man, that's the editor, best editor in the land, man. Go hook him up with
man.
Yes.
Go check him out, man.
Give me the title.
Excellence.
All right, man. So this today is, I sent Trey, or Trey sent me a clip on Instagram. We was talking about this. Okay. Greatest MVP of the 21st century in the NFL. Now, here are a list of all the MVPs I got. Starting in the year 2000, we got Marshall Faulk, St. Louis Rams.
Okay.
2001, Kurt Warner, also the St. Louis Rams. 2002, Rich Gannon, Oakland Raiders. 2003, Peyton Manning, Indianapolis Colts. Also in 2003, Steve McNair, Air McNair, Tennessee Titans. Rest in peace. 2004, Peyton Manning again. 2005, Sean Alexander, running back for the Seahawks. 2006, LaDainian Tomlinson, San Diego Chargers. 2007, Tom Brady, Patriots. 2008 and 2009, back-to-back for the Indianapolis Colts, Peyton Manning. 2010, Tom Brady, Patriots. 2011, Aaron Rodgers, quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. 2012, Adrian Peterson, running back for the Minnesota Vikings. In 2013, quarterback Peyton Manning, this time for the Denver Broncos. The only player in NFL history to win an MVP on two separate teams.
Yep. Hard.
2014, Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers, quarterback. 2015, Super Cam. Carolina Panthers quarterback went 15-1, man. Y'all know the story, man. The only team to beat him that season was the Atlanta Falcons. Weird.
That's hard.
That's weird. 2016, speaking of the Atlanta Falcons, quarterback Matt Ryan.
Ice.
2017, Tom Brady, New England Patriots. 2018, quarterback Pat Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. 2019, Action Jackson, Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens. 2020, Aaron Rodgers, quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. 2021, again, Aaron Rodgers, back-to-back, Green Bay Packers, quarterback. And this past season, Patrick Mahomes, 2022, quarterback, Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
Right now, I just gave you an earful right now, man.
That's
Off the top, man, a couple of guys stick out to me. Obviously, man, Peyton Manning threw for 50 touchdowns in that 2013 season with the Broncos. Threw for about over 50 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes this past season over 50 touchdowns. I think that's the record. I think he hit 54. That's the record. Yep. And I think he threw for the most yards, 5,200. And we just talking about regular season stats because MVP is a regular season award. Okay. Lamar Jackson, only the second unanimous MVP behind yours truly, Tom Brady. I think that was in. I think it was in 07. I think they went, 16-0 with Randy Moss. That was there. LaDainian Tomlinson sticks out to me. 2006 San Diego Chargers. Who else sticks out to me? Matt Ryan, part of that Atlanta Falcons team. Super Cam, man. That really sticks out to me, man. Cam Newton, 15-1. I don't think people appreciate what Cam Newton did, man, for the Carolina Panthers, man.
And he introduced a whole new dynamic to being a quarterback. Because that was the first time we seen – because Cam was built like a running back at the quarterback
built like a tight
position.
end, man.
Yeah, that was like the first time we've really ever seen somebody that size move like that. So that's why I think Cam changed the game. Now, fun fact that I did realize this morning, none of these guys went to win a Super Bowl.
No. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the only one that won a Super Bowl. I think Kurt Warner.
Not his MVP year, though.
Yeah, this past year he won MVP.
Oh, he did?
And the Chiefs just won,
right. Yeah.
So he broke the curse. But I think everyone else did not win the Super Bowl, which is crazy.
And they usually, all of them tend to lose in an interesting fashion at that.
Yeah.
On their season. For me, the ones that are going to stand out is Shroom Man, Aaron Rodgers. Okay. The only reason I say that is
Shroom Man. I didn't know where he was going with that.
The only reason I say Aaron Rodgers, I liked Aaron Rodgers because of how dominant he is in the season. It makes me mad what he's kind of how they haven't really accomplished much in the postseason, considering how much they're always there. Like, I think, they were going like 13-3 back-to-back for a little bit.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur was the new coach. Yeah, you had Aaron Jones run that thing. So yeah.
And then it was just Aaron Rodgers. The reason he stands out to me is because Aaron Rodgers' ability to take kind of whatever he has, although he did have Adams pretty much for most of his time at Green Bay.
Right.
He kind of, you can see with him, he kind of take him, I'll give Brady this too. Brady's good at this. Kind of whatever you put with him, he's going to make that.
Well, Brady did have the best tight end to ever play. Oh, yeah. Arguably. with Gronk.
And probably the best little slot running across the field receiver.
Talking about Edelman?
Yeah.
Edelman, Amendola, Wes Welker too.
Yep.
Wes Welker is on the damn Hall of Fame ballot because of his time in New England. He also had Randy Moss for
I'm about
that
to
1
say,
year.
When he had Randy Moss,
When he
they
had
were
Randy
balling
Moss,
out.
hey man, Randy Moss, that dude, man. I think he's top 3 wide receiver all time.
Who's standing out to you, Justin?
Hey, but listen though, man. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I do not watch football. Y'all are educating me right now.
For real?
Yeah, for real. But
Dang.
just based off what I've seen, I'll say Cam Newton's a little biased. He's my neighbor. Fun fact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cam Newton's my neighbor.
He was or he is?
Oh, he is.
The fuck?
I don't know. It's crazy.
That is like that's a crazy fact.
That's
That's
like, I did not expect it. Like when he said fun fact, I thought he was gonna say, I've been to Cam Newton's cigar lounge. Not he's my neighbor.
Yeah,
like,
my neighbor,
or
like-
I seen him in the neighborhood.
No, like that is right across the street. He has like a whole gate. It's so weird. Like it has a whole gated community type shit.
I would.
It's like,
I would.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be around you regular niggas. The fuck, I'm Cam
that's
Newton.
exactly what like he has a whole. But I'm not gonna get into
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
his crib.
yeah.
But I'm gonna say Cam Newton because what y'all just said, 50-1 is kind of that sounds impressive in the NFL. So I'm gonna just go with that. And y'all picked 2. Y'all picked 2, right?
No, I just
We're
picked
just
who
talking.
just
Oh,
took
y'all
that. We
just
just
picked
talked about it now. We haven't
fuck
dwindled it down
Cam
yet.
Newton, man. Shout out to the A. Yeah, Cam
I
and
like
Westlake. Shout out Westlake. Yeah.
I like Cam. The only reason actually no, it's hard because Cam was so dominant that year that he was hard to stop. I
A
feel
lot of
like,
people say that.
and they talked about his passing a lot, but I feel like he was a good passer that
Yeah.
year as well. The only thing that really trumps that season and the reason why it won't be talked about as much is just because of how bad of a fashion their season ended.
But you got to
in that
think
Super
though.
Bowl.
I talk about it the same way that Patrick Mahomes lost in the Super Bowl. It's kind of the same way what happened with Cam. though. Von Miller and that defense got to
It was
him,
too
man.
good, yeah.
And the thing is, it wasn't nothing Peyton Manning did. It wasn't nothing Peyton Manning. I think had a QBR of like 8, or it was less than 10. Peyton Manning was not that good in that Super Bowl. It was really that Broncos defense. So
yeah.
when you talk about that, Cam Newton was smothered all night by that defense. After that, I think there was an opening fumble. He never really recovered from that.
Christian McCaffrey couldn't get nothing going on either.
Yeah. And then you had it just is bad. Was Steve Smith or not? Or did Steve Smith go to another team during that time?
I can't remember if he was on that.
It was just a different, it was just a different atmosphere though. But props to Cam for getting there though, man. Everybody doubted him, man. And fun fact though, Cam Newton is the first quarterback or the only quarterback to open up the first 2 games of his career throwing 400 passing yards.
Shit.
So you can't say nothing about his passing.
That's crazy.
Now, I do think Cam Newton didn't do himself any favors running into all that contact. It's kind of like what Josh Allen's doing. He's running into contact, and a quarterback versus a linebacker gonna win 10 times out of 10. You might win the fight, but you're gonna lose the war.
Exactly.
Your body's not built for that and whatever. So, find a way to slide and do other things. So, but I'm going to say either Cam Newton, man. It's hard for me to dispute what Lamar Jackson did in that 2019, a unanimous MVP, and nobody saw him coming. This was his second season, man.
1,200 rushing yards.
That was his second season.
His
when he won?
second
That was
season.
his second
Yo,
season.
that's fucking impressive.
Yeah,
His
Holy
second
shit.
season.
Right, he had
And his
1,200
first season was a
rushing
full
yards.
start. The same with Patrick Mahomes, the 2018 year when he lost in I think he lost in the AFC Championship game to Tom Brady. I think Brady got the ball back, and Patrick Mahomes, he didn't get it back.
Yeah,
and
they
that's
didn't
kind of
have
what
enough
happened
time, yeah.
in that overtime thing.
Wow.
So that's why I think why they changed the rule, the overtime though. This past year, Patrick Mahomes, he shattered the passing touchdown record and the passing yards record. You could also attribute that to the extra 17th game or whatever, but
Yeah.
I think 50, don't quote me on this, 54 touchdowns and 5,200 yards.
Okay.
That's still impressive as hell.
Wow.
That's impressive as hell though. And Patrick Mahomes, I think, is 27, so he's only getting better.
Oh, no. First off, let's just talk about in general, just to sidetrack a little bit. The NFL quarterback
Is
right
evolving.
now is crazy. Like, almost every team in the NFL has their guy for the most part.
Yeah.
I
For the
peeped
most
that.
part.
I peeped
Even
that.
in the AFC is tough.
The AFC is super loaded,
It's
man.
tough. I don't know who's going to come out on top this year just because we got Aaron Rodgers added into there.
Yeah, and the Jets. And the
don't
Jets,
know
they're
what-
hyping up the Jets so much.
I'm still kind of
How
curious
do y'all
to
feel
see.
about that?
I mean, it was kind
I
of a...
think it might work if it can like come together right.
It
I
all
don't
depends
think-
on Aaron.
I don't think it has a chance to really come together till they start playing though. You know what I'm saying? Because like
Yeah.
you're adding the Jets haven't had a quarterback
Since
at
Joe
Aaron
Namath. I mean,
Rodgers
Mark
level.
Sanchez. Mark Sanchez got him, I think, to that AFC Championship game. But other than that,
Yeah, like
No.
they haven't really been at the level the potential they have with Aaron Rodgers because their defense was crazy. If they would have scored like 21 points
Yeah.
last year, they would have won at least about half more of their
They
games.
said the Jets believed they were a quarterback away, and Aaron Rodgers was
their
that
quarterback was terrible.
Is Zach Wilson? He was
Zach
garbage.
Wilson.
Yeah,
I don't know why he
never
got
heard
taken
of
over Justin
Jets
Fields, which is
quarterback.
crazy.
He threw what, like maybe a few more touchdowns and interceptions or something like that. If that,
Yeah.
it was terrible.
I think it was the whole second half of one game. They could barely get 3 yards, and I was like, damn. But you had Sauce Gardner, you had Quentin Williams on that defense, and think about it, they just got rid of Jamal Adams too. Imagine Jamal Adams on that defense. It's crazy. So I think they got a top 5, top 10 defense, really good defense. You pair Aaron Rodgers with that offense. You had Garrett Wilson, who was Offensive Rookie of the Year, with a terrible quarterback. So I think they're primed to good. Let's get back to these MVPs though.
I think the only other person that I would pretty much like to point out, this is just like showing some love for running backs, especially what's going on present day. I wouldn't, I'd say he's up there. I don't know if I would call it my top person out of the 2000s MVPs, but Adrian Peterson's 2012 year, he ran for over 2,000 yards.
All right,
Yeah.
compare that to like NBA. Like, what is that? If you
Running for
compare-
2,000 yards, an NBA comp, that's like.
I'm trying to think, rushing for 2,000 yards, because rushing's a lot harder than just.
That's not averaging 30 points a game, because more people do that. Yeah. What is the NBA comparison to rushing for 2,000 yards? That's like.
Was that in total or like?
No, in total he rushed for 2,000 yards. That's not counting how many yards he had from scrimmage.
Oh,
that's just rushing, getting the ball handed to you.
Oh shit!
And he's only the 7th player in the NFL to do that at the time.
Only the 7th.
I think Derrick Henry was the 8th player.
Yeah. He was the only player at the time, a 7th player to do that at the time. And that was back when, that was a little bit before we got into this time period where running backs are more receivers now.
Yeah.
And out catching the ball. He was really just dominant that year.
A guy who I thought should have won MVP in 2009, Chris Johnson. He literally broke the record for most yards from scrimmage, 2,509.
Jesus Christ.
CJ2K, Chris Johnson, one of the fastest players to ever play in NFL. You don't know who he is, you should know. Look up Chris. 4.24.
Damn.
But I think his combine record got broken by John Ross out of East Carolina.
What the fuck?
No, John Ross was out of I can't remember. No, he was out of Washington. Chris Johnson's from East Carolina, just so we don't get that mixed up. And it was just, he was first team All-Pro. He was NFL Offensive Player of the Year. But I think in 2000, who won in 2009? Peyton Manning? Yeah, he wasn't getting that over Peyton Manning. But still.
No, Peyton was balling. Was that the year that most quarterbacks were injured? I'm trying to think. I know one of Peyton's years, it was just easy for him to dominate getting that MVP.
Yeah.
Because Brady was out, I want to say, and about a few more people. I want to also point out, I got to give some love to my Falcons, man. Matt Ryan, his little year. That was a dominant Falcons offense, though. I'd say,
and we had a dominant defense, too.
Yeah, that was just a dominant year. Outside of the 28-3 loss, that team was pretty much unstoppable.
That's going to always hurt, bro.
Matt Ryan threw for 4,900 yards, over 4,900 yards. How many touchdowns did he have?
And Julio had a dominant year. I think Julio had 1,800 yards or something like that?
He had 38 touchdowns, 117 passer rating. That's
through the roof.
That's through the roof. So, Matt Ryan, that was a dominant team just in general. And, I would say even as a Falcons fan, you didn't really, we were good. You get through, half of the year. You're like, okay, we're doing something. You get through, the end of the year, you're like, okay, man, we kind of making it look a little easy. That was probably the best I've ever seen that team come together. And if we didn't lose that Super Bowl, I think they would have progressed into
Atlanta. We still be talking about that Super Bowl, though.
I feel like the team would have won. I feel like the team would have had a little more success too. If I feel like that took all the air out of what we built. That was the team we were building up for. We were building up for that Super Bowl, and I feel like them not finishing it.
Just run the damn ball. Just run the ball. You do realize a lot of Super Bowls are lost because teams do not run the ball.
Yeah.
Seattle, Atlanta.
I wonder what the coaches be going thinking of.
I don't know, bro. It's just bro, that's common sense, bro. And then you know what's crazy though? Everybody, all the black families in Atlanta at halftime was like, Tom Brady, we winning. They was on Facebook.
I'm talking, my boy was a Patriots fan. I'm FaceTiming him. I'm calling him. I'm letting him know, hey, bro, it's over, gang. We are.
Yeah, we up, man. Then, I go to the restroom, come back, they score. I'm like, all right, we couldn't beat y'all too bad. We had to let you score a little bit. Then they score again. I'm like, all right, bro, come on, now tighten them. They score. I'm like, bro, come on, bro, don't do this. And then they score again. I'm just like.
It was hard to go to sleep. I was sick.
Bro. And even when I went to the Braves parade. When they won, it made the city feel a little better. But the Falcons, that's just, And And I feel like, too, I feel bad because if Julio, he had one of the most amazing catches I've ever seen.
Yeah.
If Julio wins that Super Bowl, I think people will more likely talk about him as a better wide receiver. Like, he's the first ballot Hall of Famer, but I think that'll really edge him up in the top 5 echelon.
I think that Super Bowl also threw off kind of Matt Ryan's career as a total, too. Because you think about it, you add that Super Bowl. Because overall, statistically, Matt Ryan's not a bad quarterback.
He's a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer.
I think he's threw for like 60,000 yards.
I don't really get that much of like the Matt Ryan slander. Like,
I think what it is, the city, too, we never really got over losing Vic, too. I think that's another reason, too. Like, and then Michael Vick, look, he paid his debt to society. It is what it is, man. You can't.
It is what it is.
You
now,
can't keep
like,
beating up Michael. Now, I know people that dog fight. I ain't never. That's actually what Michael Vick went to jail for. That's not what he went to jail for, too. It was like crossing state lines and some other BS. So, yeah, I know dog fighting is bad. We're not advocating that, but I'm just, saying though. So,
yeah.
Well, the whole situation was messed up.
Yeah, Michael Vick could almost won an MVP too in Philly with.
They're trying to get my boy, man.
Yeah. Well, they got him actually.
How you gonna tell him the breadwinner, man? That don't make no sense to me.
Yeah, his cousin snitched on him. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, my cousin.
Wait, so that's the full story? Like, their cousin snitched
His
on
cousin
him?
snitched on
Like,
him.
That's a federal ass nigga, man.
I'm not
gonna lie. As my cousin, you will never come to another family event.
God, bro.
I'm
not advocating like you said for dog fighting.
But I'm the money.
You gonna put the man?
I'm saying,
somebody's
like,
supposed to take the fall for that.
You supposed to get
put the man-
Pookie, Man, Roscoe, somebody taking the fall,
You
not
gonna snitch
Mike
on
Vick.
me, nigga? Like,
I'm paying for
come
the
on,
lawyer,
dog.
you know what I'm
Hell
saying?
no.
Yeah, like think about it. They gave Michael Vick the time because he was Michael Vick. You give it a little Pookie or Man, he probably getting a slap on the wrist 6 months, man.
Exactly, like a good.
Or he probably
year
got to pay like
or something, I don't know.
$100,000 fine. Michael Vick gonna take care of that.
Damn.
Though. You
But
supposed to
Vic,
say,
though?
yeah, this was my operation. Vic didn't know what was going on. Like,
ain't
come
love
on
It
now,
should have
bro.
been 6 dudes who would have taken the fall for that.
Man, what? Hey, bro, that dude, if I'm Michael Vick, you can't come back to my hood, bro. And you doing that, you cannot come back to the hood.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Cousin snitch, bro. Whoever that is, man, fed.
I can't never be cool with my cousin,
God, I
bro.
can never,
You
bro.
gonna mess up the money for the family? What? And when Michael Vick did, it was wrong, and he admitted to it. But come on now,
My
bro.
better question is, what did you gain? Like,
Yeah, what did you gain? Like,
bro. You're not in the NFL. You're not making bread, bro.
like, come on
there
now.
wasn't award money out for
You know what I mean?
Like,
Like,
They weren't even like giving people like a tip or whatever. like Crime Stoppers give a tip. They weren't even giving no
bro.
tip. Like, I don't get
do they
that
still
though.
do that? I don't think they do. I don't know.
I ain't a snitch, so I don't know. Let's get back to these MVPs. Let's pick somebody, man. Adrian Peterson, 2012. That was pretty good. I think he's the last running back to win it.
oh yeah, and the way it's looking now, I don't think we'll see another.
Yeah, I
running
don't.
back.
know,
If
I
Derrick
saw
Henry,
that. I actually saw that.
if Derrick Henry didn't win when he rushed for like 2K yards or whatever, he actually put the team on his back. I don't think nobody else is getting it.
All right, last question alone from the topic, and we're gonna get into this on another episode of the podcast. But just in general,
Okay.
who do you think, with this whole running back controversy going on,
Mm-hmm.
who do you think needs to have the biggest breakout season to kind of advocate for running backs right now?
Well, that's for y'all. I don't know.
Me personally, I do believe it's Derrick Henry because coming up in January, I want to say, I think he's with me, birthday in January.
Yeah.
He turns 30. So not only would him having a big season, of course, advocate because they're not really giving him the credit that I feel like they deserve. But
Yeah,
I
they
also
paid
understand-
Tannehill, didn't pay him. That was
I
some
also
BS.
understand the way the NFL, it's a business.
Yeah.
So I understand that aspect of it. But he's going on 30. So that would be big because that's showing that not only with age
Mm-hmm.
can he still play, but he also needs to carry the team. Because all they really do is they give these running backs incentives that they can't really hit. That's why they give them the incentives because if you look at most running backs' contracts, they're going to give them goals that they weren't
It
able
has
to
to be
hit.
career high or passing career high goals. So it's like that's why everybody was mad at Saquon's contract because you fighting all this and you get this contract. You get $2 million up front. The contract's like $11 million guaranteed.
Okay.
With not $11 million guaranteed, $11 million with all these incentives. But the incentives he got to hit is
He's
like
got to hit 1,500 yards. He didn't hit that last year.
Yeah.
And he had a good year last
Yes.
year. He didn't hit that last year. I don't remember how many touchdowns, but even all his incentives combined don't count if they don't hit the playoffs.
yeah.
What?
And you got to think, you got the Cowboys in there. The Eagles, for one, are in
A great defense.
they just
So, like, if they don't hit the playoffs, incentives just, it don't even, damn, that's fucked up, bro.
not guaranteed.
That's why when people talk about Lamar Jackson, always got taking a discount. You don't never take no discount. And people say you being a selfish player.
No
the
agent, by the
owners,
way.
the
No agent.
owner,
I'm about to say no agent.
No agent.
the owners are selfish. Because think about it. The owners set the cap. These teams set the cap. They say, oh, you got to be well within the guidelines. No, you don't. Listen, The NFL is a sport where I say, other than maybe the UFC or boxing, you have literally the most, you're going into like the most pain, or you're doing like most collision or whatever. It's like a car accident.
Yeah.
So you're doing that. The average career is like what, 2.5 years, if that?
Yeah.
For running backs, I think it's what, 4 years or whatever? 3. And it's like, you know, and the contracts aren't even fully guaranteed. And then the most coon thing ever, they franchise tag you.
Wow.
So once I'm a free agent, like let's say I'm with the Atlanta Falcons, and you know my rookie year was in 2022, and at the end of my rookie deal it was like a 4 or 5 year deal. 2026, okay, now I'm up or whatever. They could franchise tag me instead of having to pay me. That's BS.
Wow. And they can just tag you again next year and keep tagging you.
Exactly. And they can tag you until like you're well into your prime or whatever. And it's just like, that's just not right or whatever. But I will say this though. If you want better rights, you got to stop advocating for, oh, we can smoke weed, we can do this, or more time off, and you advocate for better pay and more say-so. That's really all the CBA is. And I think they're primed for a lockout in 2032. Yeah. They're going to a lockout. I think they should, though. But it happens if the top guys speak up as well. So.
All right, Larry. So after all this, who do you think, who's your top guy from the 2000s MVP-wise? Who are you putting up there?
Cam Newton, man, really sticks out to me because what Cam Newton did, man, kicking and screaming, putting that team on his back, man. He's the greatest Carolina Panther, no question.
Yeah.
One of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen, man. One of the greatest athletes we've ever seen. One of the greatest faces of a franchise we've ever seen. It's just, I know he can't really get on a team now, and if Cam Newton does retire, he's a Hall of Famer. No question about it, he's a Hall of Famer. Multiple-time Pro Bowler, first-team All-Pro.
Especially if he kept up that energy from that one season.
Yeah.
We could have seen a whole different league starting with him. Same thing that kind of, I mean, it's kind of not literally different situations, but it's kind of the same thing we saw with Vic that we saw with Cam. It's just like a career cut short when he was doing something different in the league.
Mm-hmm. So, and then Cam Newton got injured, too. The injuries played a part, too. Yeah. If Cam Newton had stayed healthy on the field, oh, my God. I think he has the most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback. I think the most rushing yards, too. No, I think Vic either does or Cam does, one of the two. And it's just crazy, though. But I'm looking, though.
Either or is still impressive.
It's hard for me also to go against what Patrick Mahomes did this past year while losing Tyreek Hill. He lost his biggest weapon. Tyreek Hill had a career year. Patrick Mahomes had a career year, plus the Super Bowl.
Damn.
Against probably the number one defense in the league,
like
the Eagles.
He's only, what,
27. Dude's getting better.
I thought he was younger, man. I ain't gonna lie.
No, because he got into the league. Yeah, he's been in the league like since.
He's been learning a little bit before he.
I think he got into the league, 2017? Because him and Deshaun Watson came in the same year.
Yeah.
So.
See, for me, I'm going to go. I got two different ones for two different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we're talking about just purely off of how much attention they brought, how exciting they are to watch, what they did for the game of football.
Yeah.
I think Lamar Jackson's MVP season was just crazy. Because not only like with Vic, we seen amazing scramble ability.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Cam Newton, we seen amazing scramble ability. And there's a few other quarterbacks in there that we've seen throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
But Lamar took scrambling and showed you how not only can I be seen as a scrambler, but I can also turn it into passing. People focus on his rushing ability that season, but he also threw great that year.
He led the league in passing touchdowns.
And the thing that made me mad that year is when people were, after that in the offseason, people were talking about, can he throw? And I was like, y'all are glorifying Patrick Mahomes in that same season.
Yeah.
And he outthrew him that season as well.
He literally led the league in he got more pass touchdowns than Tom Brady. Come on now. And it's just like, it pisses me off because I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. Yeah, in that season.
And like people
he led the league. Like nobody threw more passing touchdowns than Lamar Jackson in that season.
Yeah, it goes to show you.
And
how
he didn't
much
have a
the
Pro
media
Bowl
really
wide.
influenced
Now he had Mark Andrews, a Pro Bowl tight end, and Patrick Carr, a Pro Bowl, and Mark Ingram was a Pro Bowl too. His running backs.
Like being like a running type of quarterback.
Yeah,
rather than
like literally, think about this. His running back and his fullback went to the Pro Bowl.
Okay.
He still led his team in rushing yards, broke the rushing record for quarterbacks, and he sat out the last game. And he sat out most fourth quarters, and he still led the league in passing touchdowns without a Pro Bowl receiver. Now, he had Seth Roberts, he had Willie Snead, he had other guys too. But come on now, bro. And then to Lamar Jackson, he has his best wide receiver core, and they're a lot better, but come on, that's like, so come on. Now, that's why this whole Lamar Jackson slander is crazy.
It is crazy to me because, like, and the fact is, they literally when he came in the NFL, he's going to be a receiver. He's going to be a running back. He should be drafted as an athlete. He's not a quarterback.
You never heard that from anybody else.
And for you to come in the league and really prove people wrong and people still try to find a way, like, to hate on you, it's just always crazy to me that people go that route to talk down on Lamar when he's beat the critics really almost every time. The only thing he ain't done is won a Super Bowl. That's about it.
And I said this too when everybody was hyping Baker Mayfield after he started. I said, because it was Saquon, because Saquon was a second pick in the draft that year with Baker Mayfield, and Josh Allen was in that draft too, and Lamar Jackson was on the same draft. I said this. I said, Baker Mayfield's not the second best rookie after Saquon. That belongs to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson took over a team with Joe Flacco who wasn't leading in the division. He then won the division. Okay, then he goes get the highest seed in the AFC North, which is the toughest or one of the toughest divisions in football, right after I think the AFC West. Okay. Yeah, the AFC North is like the hood.
They hit.
That's Black Force energy. You got the Steelers, the Ravens, the Broncos, and the Bengals. That's the hood right there.
I love that. And
that gives Black Force energy right there.
Outside of the Broncos, that division right now is going to be a good one to watch. Yeah. Because you got Pickens coming up out of there. I don't really know how I feel about the Steelers quarterback yet. I think he's still got a lot to learn, so I feel like we'll see a lot of that this year.
They could draft some receivers, though. Yeah. Steelers always hit out of the park with receivers, though.
Oh, yeah, they never going to miss that.
I don't know how they do it, though. They had AB. They get Hines Ward.
Juju.
Juju. Come on now. Now you got George Pickens.
Even at that time, they had Bell as a running back.
Still, though. So, okay. If I had to pick, I'm really going to pick three to stand out. We're going to pick from there. Okay. I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes from this year, broke all the records, Lamar Jackson, unanimous MVP, or Cam Newton, Super Cam, 2015 Cam, Superman, dabbing.
I'm going Lamar.
You on Lamar?
I can't go against Lamar, man. I mean,
unanimous, though, Larry? Like
Unanimous MVP.
Unanimous, bro.
Unanimous, and like I said,
that should just take it right there. Like, unanimous is such a big title.
It is.
To hold.
It's just something about what Cam did. He took that team, put them on his back.
I just feel like Lamar took what Cam did and added so much more flashiness to it.
And Lamar's in a much better system. A lot of these Lamar's in a much better system.
Way better system. And that's why I think, like, though, his ability, because he's had injuries too. Yeah. So his ability to take what they kind of gave him, and I like how the Ravens organization built around him. That says a lot too.
They just started building around him this year, though.
You
had to get them better receivers too.
Yeah, but like the offensive system is at least built around Lamar, and you didn't really see that in the past. Even though I will say they gave Cam more option type of plays,
because you had Luke Kuechly, you had Steve Smith, so I think so definitely.
Yeah. So I don't think they necessarily built around the system around Cam that well, because that was like they were dipping their toe in the water. The Ravens full send it and trusting in Lamar with the sense of how they changed their offense around. Because you're going from Joe Flacco to a completely different type of quarterback. Joe Flacco's strictly like pocket passing.
And I say Lamar Jackson's the greatest quarterback for the Ravens, hands down.
100%.
Now, greatest postseason quarterback, you got to give it to Joe Flacco. Because there ain't no telling what he did in the postseason. He was a different guy.
Well, see, the thing is, the Ravens are strict. Like, most of their success, I would say, is from strong defense anyway. Yeah. So Lamar is like, this is that first era where we're kind of seeing the offense run the Ravens' dominance in the sense. Because, like, it used to just be you not scoring on them.
Yeah.
Type shit.
But I can't go against Cam. I'm going to say Cam Newton, greatest quarterback of the 21st century. I mean, greatest MVP of the 21st century. I can't go against what Cam Newton did. Put that team on his back, go 15-1. I can't do that. I can't go against Cam like that.
I can't even knock him for that.
Because it's like, bro, what Cam Newton, and he was so dominant, you couldn't stop him. The only thing that stopped him was that entire defensive plan and his offensive line not holding up. Because Von Miller was unstoppable that night.
2018 Braun, that's what I'm hearing right now, bro. That's what I'm hearing. Like
2018 Braun?
Yeah.
Oh, that was when
that's when he put them niggas on his back. Like,
yeah, they had me, you and Trey on that team.
Type shit. Yeah. Just regular LA Fitness hoopers on that dude, bro.
Okay. Real quick, we got Morgan in the studio real quick. Morgan, who do you think is the greatest MVP in the 21st century? You don't know?
She don't even
You
know,
ain't been
man.
listening? You been on your phone?
Yeah.
That's tough.
She don't mess with us for real.
She don't mess with us for real.
I think I should just fire her, bro.
You can't fire somebody who's not on payroll.
Oh, shit.
But listen, though. I'd say Cam Newton, the greatest MVP of the 21st century. Who you got?
Just off of the title alone, unanimous though, man, I got Lamar, bro.
Tom Brady won it unanimously too.
Lamar. Lamar. We're going Lamar still. Don't matter.
You going Lamar?
Lamar.
All right, man. 2 Lamar Jacksons and 1 Cam Newton. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. Who was the greatest MVP of the 21st century? Morgan not paying attention. We don't care. What the Fumble Podcast. We are out.